storm is here. Conditions are getting worse. Everyone should be out of the beach area. That was the word yesterday from a county official in coastal North Carolina, where hurricane force winds were expected to continue blowing into Friday morning. Welcome to CNN 10, everyone. I'm Carl Azus at the CNN Center. A few hundred miles east of here, Hurricane Dorian is battering the American coast. After temporarily strengthening to Category 3 status, Dorian was once again a strong Category 2 storm last night with wind speeds of 110 miles per hour. A hurricane warning extended as far north as the border between North Carolina and Virginia, meaning people near those coasts could expect at least 74-mile-per-hour hurricane force winds at some point. In Charleston, South Carolina, forecasters predicted a storm surge, a rise in seawater levels of 5 to 8 feet higher than where the tide normally is. And up to 15 inches of rain was expected there, adding to the flooding. One side effect of hurricanes is that they can cause tornadoes, and those were reported in North and South Carolina as the storm stalked the shoreline. More than 1 million people in those two states were under mandatory evacuation orders, which means that if they didn't leave their homes when they were told to, they could be on their own without emergency responders available when the storm hit. Thursday afternoon, officials estimated that around 260,000 customers were without electricity, most of them in South Carolina. CNN's Brian Todd found one of the reasons why. He was in the historic city of Charleston when Hurricane Dorian's eye was 45 miles away.
We're at the corner of East Bay Street and Market Street. I'm going to have our photojournalist Harlan Schmidt just go right past me down the street on Market. You can see that down power line over there sparking, and you might see it explode any minute now because we rolled up on this thing about 30 minutes ago. There you can see it whipping around and causing sparks, but it really explodes every few minutes, and then the lights flicker on, on and off where we are. Clearly it's knocked out power down Market Street over there. Significant flooding here on Market Street and other streets here in Charleston. There you see it going. Get ready, it could explode because there's a transformer that really exploded violently a few minutes ago when we rolled up on this thing. We are a safe distance away from it. We're probably about 150 yards away, and we are on the other side of a cross street here. But we've been having to warn people who have kind of walked around this area to clear out and not go down that street and not drive down that street because obviously that thing is still whipping around and still very much of a danger. Officials here in Charleston tell us there are also more than 100 downed trees in this area. They've got 85 road closures in this area, 26 of them flood-related, including one not far from here near the Ashley River, which is a very low-lying river. There you see it sparking again. This thing could really blow in a second because it's been very, very violent at times while we've been here, and very, very dangerous, obviously, for anybody all along these streets. Charleston is used to this kind of thing, but this is the third major hurricane to impact this area in the last 3 years. You had Matthew in 2016, you had Irma in 2017, now this. They also had a 1,000-year flood event in 2015.
People across India, the world's second most populated country, are closely watching the moon on Friday. India sent a spacecraft there in July, and if all goes according to plan, it's scheduled to land today on the far side of the moon's surface. This would make India the fourth country to achieve a soft landing on the moon, behind the United States, China, and the former Soviet Union. India hopes this mission will bring it a step closer to putting Indian astronauts in space by 2022 and to solidifying the nation's status as a space superpower. It has carried out successful missions at a fraction of the cost of other countries' missions, but analysts say India's government will still have to invest more money in the years ahead to realize its future goals. 10-second trivia. On the periodic table of the elements, Sn is the symbol for what? Scandium, strontium, tin, or antimony? Sn is the symbol for tin because the word comes from the Latin term stannum. Its uses go well beyond the tin man or the tin can or the tin roof. The element has been used for thousands of years to make bronze. It was probably used to make the window you daydream out of. And when people thank the Academy for the Oscars they just won, the statuettes they're holding are mostly made of tin. Today, much of the world's tin mining takes place in Asia and South America, but it wasn't always that way. A county in southwestern England used to be king when it came to tin, and a walk among the ruins of Cornwall's tin mines could take you back in time or back to the future.
Cornwall's tin coast, rich in minerals and ruined mines. An industrial legacy which could soon be reborn, thanks to big tech.
Tin has been extracted from the rock in this otherwise rural part of the UK for millennia. In the late 1870s, when these engine houses were originally built, Cornwall was the world's biggest producer of tin, home to 2,000 mines dotted across its countryside.
The last of those, South Crofty, closed its doors 2 decades ago after tin prices plunged and developing economies cornered the market. But now it could be the first to reopen, creating 275 jobs.
And that journey towards Cornwall's mining revival begins here, around 300 metres below the surface.
Getting the mine up and running in 2 years won't be easy. Hundreds of miles of tunnels need to be surveyed and drained. But with demand for smart devices on the rise, South Crofty's new Canadian owners think that they can make Cornish tin profitable once more.
Tin has been aptly described today as the glue in the high-tech world. Renewable energy, electric vehicles, power generation, power storage, 5G, all of these things require tin. And what better way to avoid the concept that you're sourcing tin from potentially areas of conflict or areas where you have child exploitation than to mine it here in Cornwall.
South Crofty could become one of the only tin mines in Europe and North America, giving technology companies an opportunity to clean up supply chains. Cornish tin's future also lies in its past. The region was once the Wild West of England, as seen here in the BBC drama Poldark, attracting prospectors from all over the country. They've left their mark on the landscape to the delight of the 4.5 million visitors who flock to Cornwall each year. Mark Will's family have been tin miners for 4 generations.
My father was the last one of us to actually work underground. There was no longer a profit in selling at wholesale, so we gradually renovated some old machinery on site, started producing the tin ourselves. Whether people were just interested in the architecture of the buildings or the physical process that the mineral has to go through to get to it, it seems to capture different people.
Even if mining doesn't return to Cornwall on its previous scale, this ancient metal is already helping this western province of the British Isles to shine again. Nina Dos Santos, CNN, Cornwall in England.
We don't know how much tin it took to build this massive machine, but you probably don't want to fight it. A Japanese robotics company developed this over about 6 years. It's named Mononofu, which means samurai warrior. It's modeled after machines in Japanese animation. It's 27 feet 9 inches tall, and it actually can't get out of its warehouse unless you take off its head first. This is the Guinness World Record for largest humanoid vehicle. Maybe smaller machines would be humanoid by its existence, but they'd be mono-no-foolish to engineer an altercation. We're not Decepticoning you when we say the Omega Supreme achievement that takes up some Optimus Prime real estate is about to be truly transformative for an industry that's already built on nuts and Voltrons. The competition is just gonna have to go back to the drawing board, y'all. I'm Carlos Zeus for CNN 10, and Fridays are awesome.